Before the royal seal, time seems to hold its breath. Every grain of dust is memory. The touch of human hands breaks the silence of 3 millennia. The stone guards the secrets of the gods, and the heavy air announces that something greater sleeps beyond these walls. The silence is broken by the pull of the lever. The weight of history presses the air, which awakens in an ancient breath. The sound of stone moving is the sound of time opening its eyes. Before the void, human breath mingles with the golden dust of the past. The corridor narrows, and the stone seems to watch. Carved scarabs fix their eternal eyes upon the visitor. Each step echoes like an intruder within time. The air grows dense, the sound of sand slides, and light becomes the boundary between courage and darkness. The chamber opens like a sleeping temple. Statues guard the silence, holding relics of a forgotten ritual. Gold returns the light in living reflections, yet the air still vibrates with the weight of time. Here, even human breath sounds like desecration. If this journey through Egypt's mysteries fascinates you, like the video, share it with those who love history, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next secret revealed from the ancient tombs. Among dust and silence, the gold begins to breathe again. Each jewel reemerges as a whisper from the past. But time also has its guardians. Alive, watchful. One movement is enough to remind that here, every inch still belongs to the desert. The stone yields and reveals another chamber. The air shifts, denser, older. Broken fragments cover the ground like traces of a forgotten ceremony. Each step seems to disturb the sleep of centuries. Ahead, the gaze of Anubis watches in silence, guarding the boundary between man and the sacred. The seal remains where the pharaoh's servants left it. The ancient plaster keeps the silence of generations. Each cut of the blade is an act of desecration and of discovery. The sound of the stone giving way is the sound of time unfolding, and the air, as it escapes, carries the breath of 3,000 years. Time breaks. The wall dissolves like a veil, and the first ray of light touches the gold that slept in silence. No human sound belongs in this moment. Before the intact statues, the air moves like an ancient whisper, the very Egypt exhaling memory. No sound prepares man to cross this boundary. The chamber rests as if time itself had stopped to protect it. Gold does not shine from vanity, but from remembrance. Each object, the throne, the chariot, the tools, speaks in silence. And in that silence, eternity itself seems to breathe. The walls speak in silence. The symbol of death glows under the light, cold and eternal. The engraved words do not threaten. They remind, "He who opens shall sleep with kings." Time watches. Dust falls. And deep within the earth, the echo of the past beats like a drum that never ceased. Gold is not merely metal, it is petrified memory. With each step, the air grows heavier. Hands move carefully, as if touching time itself. Nothing here belongs to the present. Even the sound of breath seems to ask permission. And when the touch comes, it's as if the entire world bowed before the silence of the Pharaohs. The weight of time moves. The sound is deep, as if the stone itself were breathing. Dust rises, dancing in the light. And then it appears, the face Egypt kept hidden for millennia. The golden mask, intact, returns the gaze of eternity. The heart races, not from fear, but because the past has just opened its eyes. Before the face of the pharaoh, all sound dissolves. Gold reflects not just light, but the lifetime could not erase. The body bends, not in fear, but in reverence. The wind passing through the cracks sounds like an ancient prayer. And then, silence becomes sacred. moment of discovery must be preserved, not with words, but with light and record. Every click is a bridge between yesterday and now. The papyrus speaks, the gold responds, and Egypt breathes again. If this story moved you, help keep it alive. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this journey through time. The past endures only when the present remembers it. Time does not like to be touched. The ceiling yields, the stone groans, and the earth seems to awaken. Dust invades the air. The past defends itself. The sound rises from the depths, like a roar from the desert itself, reminding, nothing that has slept for millennia awakens without cost. The body reacts before the mind. The sound of stones mixes with breath. The lantern swings, dust swallows the air. There is no fear, only instinct. To run is to survive. But chance, master of excavations, always leads to new mysteries. What seemed like escape is only the beginning of another discovery. Not every treasure shines at first light. The narrow passage reveals a circle of silence, guarded by statues and symbols. Serpents and eyes do not threaten. They watch. Each falling drop repeats the sound of time, and when the lid emerges beneath the dust, it's as if Egypt itself breathed once more. The seal gives way. The ancient air escapes like a sigh of time. Inside, the gold rests, and the eye of Horus observes the intruder with serenity. The cold light reflects in blue, as if the Nile sky began to breathe again. The sound that vibrates is not of threat, but of memory, the echo of what never ceased to exist. The air begins to swirl as if space itself were breathing. Dust rises in spirals, light struggles to remain. Voices blend with the wind, memories carved into walls. No curse, only the echo of time returning what it once heard. And then, the sound ceases. Egypt sleeps again. Silence weighs like a lesson. Each stone, each inscription, carries more than gold. It carries the meaning of having survived time. Breathing returns, the body remembers to exist. Before leaving, one last look, and the certainty that not even dust can erase what man discovers when he listens to the past. The statues watch the departure, covered by dust that remembers everything. Each step echoes, as if time itself followed along. The light grows, the ground trembles. Egypt awakens, but reveals nothing. Outside, the desert wind does not ask. It only carries the sound of what should never be forgotten. Darkness dissolves in the first breath of light. The sun burns the eyes but awakens the soul. The desert's dust is the same that once covered kings, and now it rises again, guided by the wind. No treasure is greater than the history that breathes beneath the sand. The gaze turns back, and the tomb's silence replies, "Everything that was, still is." The desert's silence is the same as that within the tomb. Only the weight of the air differs. Hands now write what eyes refuse to forget. The wind carries golden dust, as if sealing a pact between past and present. The journal closes, and Egypt, once again, rests beneath sand and time. The sun descends, and the desert resumes its role as guardian. The man's shadow merges with the dunes, and the wind erases the tracks as if they never existed. No secret was taken, only revealed for a moment. The lantern fades, and silence is what time chose to tell the rest of the story. Neither gold nor stone holds Egypt's true secret. What endures is silence, the pause between the touch of a hand and the memory of time. The heart slows, and the desert breathes alone again. Everything found had always been here, waiting to be seen. And perhaps, just perhaps, the mystery was never the tomb, but the human gaze before eternity. Gold fades, but history remains engraved in every grain of sand. The wind carries what we saw, and time keeps what we felt. If this journey awakened your curiosity for the past, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it, so the echo of Egypt continues to be heard. even when the desert falls silent.